I honestly thought about not coming on today, but I figured if anyone did show up, even if it was just one person, that it'd be better than not showing up because, I'm going to be gone for a few days, not streaming, so it didn't really seem fair to not come on today. Like, didn't seem fair to y'all. So, here I am. I thought we were doing Animal Crossing, but apparently we're doing Let's Go Eevee. Come on, computer. uh, I just feel a little tired. I didn't do that much, but it's just like the stress and the excitement and spending so much time packing. I don't know. Hmm. Like, I spent 3 or 4 hours today just getting the rest of our stuff together because we packed our clothes last night. And then trying to Tetris everything, realizing that it didn't fit in the first bag I had. Searching the house frantically for a second bag. Then trying to fit my medicine into a compartment and trying to Tetris that. I spent an entire hour on trying to Tetris my medicine into a case. And then, of course, like I said, I had to get a second freaking bag. Like, I'm not using two bags. I had to get a different bag because my first bag was too small. Then I almost forgot my glasses. I still haven't found my bows because I have little hair bows. Can't find any of them. Can't find any of my pretty hair clips. None. I mean, I found an entire packet of bobby pins, but, that's bobby pins. This is not particularly helpful. Like, it'll hold my hair, but I was looking for the stuff that would be cute, and it's like it walked off somehow. And to finally get to Magic Cat's question, no, I never found the other shirt, and it drove me nuts. I looked for it. I looked for that shirt for an entire hour. 1 hour was spent just looking for my shirt. 1 hour was spent just trying to fit my medicine into a case and fit the case in the bag. Like, the stress I went through today trying to pack was stupid. It was stupidly unfair. I don't even know why or how this was that stressful. But I spent probably an hour or an hour and a half last night and then 3 to 4 today. And it's just stupid. Oh, and somehow, for some reason, I changed what I was gonna wear 3 different times. Because I couldn't, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be too hot, but will this be warm enough? So I changed what I was wearing 3 times. But yeah, I found all these, like, dresses and stuff. Like, okay, so there's this, like, blue long sleeve dress that has pockets. The dress comes about down to your knees, so it kind of looks more like a tunic, in a sense. Or something along those lines. Wait, where's the item? I'm trying to pick up the item. There we go. Because from my point of view, it seemingly just disappeared one day and I couldn't find it. And I thought I had looked everywhere for it. And I was like, okay, well, that's a little weird. It disappeared. Can't find it. That's strange. Found it last night. Wasn't what I was looking for, but I did find it. I found a skirt that I thought I must have gotten rid of years ago. No, turns out it was just in a specific place in the closet. Wow. My throws are terrible today. Bastard! Okay, that one wasn't my fault. I don't know how I keep over and undershooting, too. I don't know if you noticed, but it's like, yeah. It's not even going remotely in the direction of the Krabby. Struggling here. It's just not even remotely in the correct direction. Like, I'm just... So, is it ever gonna come back to the correct place? I actually found a pashmina in the closet that I didn't even know I had. If y'all don't know, a pashmina is like a specific type of scarf that's usually made of a specific type of material. And it's usually like a specific thickness and texture. Anyway, I found an entire ass pashmina in the closet that I didn't know I had. What do you mean you experienced what it feels like to be drunk? I thought y'all couldn't drink. Because it's not against my religion to drink, but I know it's against some people's religion to drink. And I thought y'all couldn't drink. Damn it. That was poorly timed. What the hell? How is it so overshot? It soared over its head and hit the fucking tree in the background. I know you don't, but what did you do to feel like that? It's a very specific feeling. Okay, got a few nice throws that actually hit it. I don't know how I just managed to not hit it so many times. Like, they were just off in the pawpaw patch, left, right, center, going all these crazy directions. And it ran away, probably because it got tired of us trying to catch it. There's so many stupid little things you have to remember to pack, too. Like, you have to remember to pack your chargers. Anything that you take with you that needs a charger, you know, that can run out of battery, you have to remember to pack that charger. Or at least charge it beforehand. So I was charging my headphones, and I was, you know, what else did I charge? Charging my headphones. I think I actually charged my AirPods too, because I have both. Oh, different one. Sleep late, woke up early, you feel dizzy and like throwing up. I guess that's somewhat what it's like to be hungover. Maybe. I wouldn't have hit it anyway. Cool. What the... Why do they keep going to the side? What am I supposed to do with that? Yeah, this is not working out. Nah, I had to find a charger for my nebulizer. I had to find another phone charger. Because I was like, I don't think we have a phone charger in our bags. Lord help me. What was your dream about? Speaking of which, I'm supposed to be reading some, fucking, what was it? Our Paranormal. I'm supposed to be reading from there, too. I kind of forgot, because I'm not physically tired, I'm mentally tired. I'm just kind of sitting here, just, like, burned. Burned out. Oh, other one? I never know which... I maybe not be able to catch crabbies. Wow, even that one was off. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to catch a crabby. It's fine. That's fine. I can't waste my balls. I'll give up on trying to catch crabby. I don't know why they want to stay to one side. It's very frustrating. Also, let's see if we can change this. You said your family was preparing meat and your brother grabbed the animal head and it looked weird, pink with one eye. So y'all was eating aliens, I guess? I don't know. Did I already talk to this person? Lord have mercy. Okay, let me find a story. I can't. It's 20 minutes have passed. I can only be on here for 2 hours anyway. Let me find something. Um, why are there so many photo ones? Y'all can't even see it. What is this? Okay, it says, has anyone ever heard of this? Life soup me fork? What? 4 hours ago. That's so weird. What on earth? That's a little weird, but okay. Let's see what it says. My parents lived in a My parents lived in a double wide a while ago, and since moving into that house, I've had something strange happen that only I seem to notice. Even when I moved out, it still happened. Every once in a while, I would notice marks on my TV screens. Huh? Not just any marks, though. It looked like teeth marks. It's hard to explain, but imagine someone opened their jaw all the way 180 degrees and planted their teeth on the screen and left a full set of teeth marks in the shape of a human mouth. That's a little weird, but are you sure that your parents or their friends weren't just like on drugs or something? Like, no offense, but it doesn't really sound ghostly. Hard to explain, but nope, read that part. That's what it looks like. The marks themselves seem to be made of some sort of oily material that has no smell. Scoured the internet in hopes of finding an answer, but in 10 years I haven't been able to find anything about it. I don't know what's making these marks or if it's paranormal, but it sure isn't normal. Someone said it might be a cryptid. Why does this same person always comment the same long, obnoxious message? This is so stupid. Let's see. Door opened by itself first time. Okay. Let's see. Yogurt Pack posted this 14 hours ago. Cliche and not very scary, but it just happened in the last hour. I'm creeped out and it's 3 a.m., so I want to share. I live in a 2-story house and I went downstairs to use the bathroom. The toilet in mine is broken, with headphones in. Why is it always the bathroom? It's always the bathroom. I, I mean, Magic Cat has a Muslim explanation, but it's like outside of that. I can't think of any other good reason that it's always the bathroom. Live in a 2-story house and went downstairs, so that's where we are. Left the lights off because I'm used to walking in the dark. I have cats and sometimes they follow me around the house slash wait for me in the hallway upstairs. As I was thinking about my cat, I noticed one of the doors was cracked, so I was getting ready to greet one of my babies when the door I was heading to opened by itself. Not all the way though, it opened slightly as if to invite me in, as if a cat would open it. I turned the light switch on and investigated for a furry friend around the area. Nothing. The cats were in other rooms the whole time. No wind or gust anywhere near this door, so I can't think of a logical explanation. Too long didn't read, thought cat opened the door, instead it opened by itself. Pretty mellow, I know, but I've never experienced anything like this. Well, OP says he doesn't think it could be a draft and his cats weren't actually there. But, I mean, the frame could be warped. Or the little part with the lock itself could be warped. Part of the floor could be warped. I mean, there are reasons that aren't just, you know, a gust of wind. I suppose a pressure change as well could have done that. Temperature change. Like, there's reasons. Yeah, someone first comment says, sounds like either pressure change or the door was not entirely clicked shut. Because, like, there's innocent reasons that could have... that's not what I meant to do. Sorry. There's innocent reasons that could have happened, so I'm not immediately like, yeah, it was a ghost. For real. Okay, well, that's all that happened. That was a short one. Let's see. Unexplained occurrence. Unsure what I should do by magical rage. I love that. Magical rage 33. Blueberry will be fine. I live in an old farmhouse built in the mid 1800s. The house has since had additions slightly modernized. I've been living in the house for roughly 2 years and have had multiple head scratching experiences. Hmm. The most common being an Xbox in my living room being turned on and off from the console while I'm in the room. Sometimes it just makes the chime multiple times without turning on. No controllers are in the room or have batteries, and I'm the only person living here. Every time I go to watch TV in roughly an hour, the Xbox chime starts go on and off for an hour and stops, then later in the night starts back up. Is this explainable? I've had a few different appliances, such as TV, soundbar, and microwave, turn on unexpectedly, sometimes multiple times when I'm in the room. I'm really just looking for any answer because I'm drawing a blank. Any suggestions would be appreciated. So, Jack Shid commented, that's what it says, that they would suspect faulty electronics before paranormal activity, which would usually be fair, but considering the fact that they said it was 4 different electronics plugged into 4 different sockets, that's kind of weird. Like, unless you're insinuating the wiring in their entire house is bad, which could be the case, but that's just so extreme. I don't know. I don't know. You can't really Occam's razor your way out of this because, they're both equally wild explanations. It's like, well, is it a ghost, or are you so unlucky that the electronics in your entire house are somehow messed up, and or the wiring in your entire house is somehow messed up? Like, that sounds stupid. That sounds unbelievable too. Like, every electronic you bought just happens to be faulty. All four, five, six of them. Every socket just happens to be fucked up. All four, five, six of them. Like, that's crazy. That sounds insane. Hmm. That one's a picture, though. I thought it was going to be a story, but it's a picture. You asked brother to buy you headphones and had to open 3 boxes to get to it because it was double packaged or because there was other stuff in the way. Mm-hmm. I hate when we end up against a water type. Double packaged. More like quadruple packaged. Did you say 4 boxes? Jesus Christ. What on earth is the point of that? Why not just put it. If you're not going to put it in one layer, why not two? Why does it need three, four, 5 layers? Like, it's just so stupid. There's just so much waste for one product with so many products, and it doesn't make sense. It's like, why does this need 6 layers? There's this. It's stupid. There's no reason. You know what I mean? Or it's like, why does this need 5 layers? Or hell, depending on the thing, why does it need 3 or 4 layers? Like, it doesn't make sense when you could just do it in one or two. I don't know. It just always seemed dumb to me. Like, why do you need more than 2 layers? I've literally received like stuff because like most people, I'm guilty of ordering at least one thing from Amazon in my life, and it's like, why does this need 6 layers? This is overkill. I mean, maybe if it were like fine porcelain or something, because some people still call it fine china, but it's porcelain. But like, if maybe if you were ordering that, maybe it would be wrapped up multiple times. But if you're not ordering something that delicate, why the fuck does it have 7 layers, kind of thing? Like, it's just so dumb. Magic Hat said the last box is so satisfying. That may be, but why on earth do they have to include so many? Aw, it's huge. Whoop! I didn't think it would immediately try to punch us in the face. There we go. Might as well. I don't have these yet. You said you don't even want to ruin it. Why is it pretty? Is the last box really pretty or something? Oh, excuse me. Obviously, I'm not finding things that are creepy enough if you're not scared yet. I'm kidding. Kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not here just to scare you. Oh, it's just that it had a place to tie your headphones into. Okay. So, Patchouli Girl 77 posted this 15 hours ago. Possible curse or coincidence? Question mark. I just had a phone call from my niece who was asking if I knew anything about curses. Interesting. Not sure why that would have randomly come up, but alright. Um, I don't really, so we're hoping someone here may know something on this particular supposed curse. She and my other niece, her younger sister, just got home from a long weekend trip in Arizona, USA. Are they not American? I don't know. The way she said it was kind of weird. Um, the way she said it implies they're not American, but I don't actually know. Anyway, my niece proceeded to tell me a few things that have happened since they visited a petrified national park. This is her story and my question. Hold on. My sister and I were at Petrified Forest National Park last week, and we took about a palm-sized piece of petrified wood. Since then, our favorite movie theater has shut down. We witnessed the aftermath of a bad accident, and paranormal things have been happening. I was feeling weird about everything that's happened and decided to look up if there was anything involved with taking wood from the park, and found out there is a curse attached with taking a piece of wood out of the park. We're sending back the wood, but are wondering if it will be enough to break the curse. Has anyone else ever heard of this particular curse? When my niece looked it up, the article said the park has had thousands of pieces of petrified wood mailed back to them from park visitors who had bad luck after taking it from the park. It also said they can't put the pieces back into the park once they've been taken out, so they just pile the pieces by the entrance. No info on whether the people continued having bad luck or not. I've never heard of that. Like, I've heard of petrified forest, but I've never heard of a curse attached. I mean, none of it sounds like stuff that's specifically happening to them. Because, let's be real, businesses close all the time, especially since this happened during the years since a certain illness decided to emerge into the world. Lots of businesses have opened and closed during that time because there's just been such high turnover because some of them just, like, couldn't stay open anymore. You know? And something about going by a car crash. Girl, people go by car crashes all the time. How does that count as personal bad luck? Like, please, inform me. I'm so confused. And what was the other thing that they said there was something else they were dealing with too? Keep talking. You're trying the headphones. Okay. God, I forgot what else they said that had happened. Oh, the third thing was quote paranormal events, but they didn't really say what they were. Hmm. Okay, let's see. The quality or what have you. Wow. Fuck you. And that just completely missed it to begin with. Hmm. My daughter heard my dad's voice. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Hedawi. Am I supposed to say that together? 21. Posted this a day ago. My daughter was on the phone with my mom this morning. For background, my daughter lives an hour and a half away. My mom's house has very patchy service. It's not unusual for calls to break up because she loses service. During one of those times, my daughter heard my dad's voice very clearly say my mom's name. It really shook her up. He passed away 2 years ago. Even telling me about it hours later had her crying. Mom didn't hear anything, only my daughter. She never experienced anything like this before. Is this something anyone else has experienced? Well, good. I'm glad that, where was I going with this? Oh, glad that it sounds good. Wow. Okay. Okay. So this one says, this one is just called the Knock Knock Ghost, but I'm pretty sure most people hear knocking as a part of haunting, so that's kind of vague. Might as well call every ghost that. Now you can hear me without worrying about waking stepdad. Okay, cool. So Unlikely Strategy 38 posted this 21 hours ago. Okay, let's see. When I was 16 or something, or something. What do you mean or something? You don't know. Wow. Okay, anyway. I used to go every summer to my aunt and uncle's house in the countryside. I used to live in a city near to the desert, so it was pretty fun and refreshing to go. The thing is, my uncle's really good at telling stories and giving them a fake ending. And I'm autistic, so I would realize they were lies when something really extreme and unbelievable happened. Wait, would or wouldn't? Would, okay. Or my sister directly told me he was lying. But the stories weren't like a compulsive liar kind of thing. It was more like starting to tell a real story but exaggerating everything to give it a funny ending. So this one day we were eating fries and drinking eating fries and drinking Pepsi. I'm just going to pause to say that's a little funny. Not because there's anything wrong with it. It's just I read that and it kind of made me giggle. Anyway, although he was a little bit drunk because he was drinking beer too. My sister and I were with him, and suddenly his face became very serious and said that the story he was going to tell us was 100% true. I learned the hard way that I shouldn't take seriously what he said, so playfully I told him to go on. He started by telling me when he was little, he and his brother had their own room, so he slept by himself. The thing is that some nights would appear what he called El Fantasma del Tok Tok, that translates to the knock knock ghost. He would hear 4 knocks on the window and feel like someone was watching him. Okay, but my mind immediately went to like people creeping on him instead of ghosts, but you know. This happened pretty frequently and really scared him. I said something like, okay, you should stop drinking, go to bed, and laughed. My aunt was with my younger sister on the bed because she was telling her a story and fell asleep, so I had to sleep in the big bed with my uncle. That's a little weird. I remember that I was. I love the next sentence. I remember I was reading a fan fiction. I love that. Or something. It was pretty late, and all I could hear was my uncle snoring. I was really concentrating on what I was doing, but suddenly I heard 4 knocks on the window. I laughed out loud and said, "You have to work harder to scare me," thinking it was one of the cousins trying to scare me because they heard the story. So I go back to reading with a smile on my face. I was laying down when I swear I felt a weight on my legs as if someone was sitting on them. Sat down immediately. Do you mean sat up? Because you just said you were already laying down. I'm confused. And looked to see if someone was pranking me, but all I saw was my legs covered by the sheets. I panicked and bent my legs so I could hold them with my arms, but I couldn't until from one moment to another the weight disappeared. I was shocked because I couldn't explain what had happened. Keyboard moves. I believe in spirits and energies and stuff, but it never happened to me. I'm a pretty logical person, so when something mildly paranormal happened, I would give it a logical explanation right away, but this time I couldn't. I convinced myself to think that it was paranoia because of the story my uncle had told me, but at the same time, I didn't believe him. I really thought he was drunk and messing with me, and the story didn't scare me, so I don't know how my head would make it up. Has this happened or some... Wow. Has this happened or something similar to any of you? No, you read it right the first time. It's just worded weird. I don't think English is their first language because some of this was worded really awkwardly. Which, again, not their fault, but I was like, this doesn't quite make sense. Let me read it again. Also, side note, when I stopped earlier at the uncle thing, it's not because the grammar was bad. I was just like, you're 16 and you had to share a bed with your uncle? That sounds really creepy. Not in a ghost way, just in a like, are you sure this is a normal kind of way? I was like, I don't know if that's normal. Magic Hat said, oh hell no. I assumed to the ghost part. I was hoping I would find something that would creep out Magic Cat. Not too badly, because I don't want you so paranoid that you can't sleep. But I just wanted something that would actually be, you know. Huh. So it looks like there's a cross-posted story. It was cross-posted on R Haunted. Wait, what is R Haunted? Now I have to go see what R Haunted is. Open link in new tab. I assume it's like R Paranormal and R Ghost Stories. Yeah, R Haunted is for paranormal occurrences. Although why there's a separate subreddit from R Paranormal and R Ghost Stories, I don't know. Anyway, the post that was cross-posted is titled Creepy Encounter with a Doll by Lifeless9349. A while back, I bought a porcelain doll from a shop. Long story short, I got I got creepy vibes from it, so I decided to donate it back to a local charity shop. I love how instead of purifying it, they're like, nah, y'all can be haunted instead. The next few nights, I had reoccurring dreams about it. I can't remember the first, but I can clearly remember the second. I woke up in my dream and saw the doll laying down on my desk, but it didn't have any clothes or stuffing, just the metal frame and the porcelain parts. Hands, feet, and head, and its head had a really angry expression. Hold on. Oh, my ear itches. Oh. I went and took it downstairs to throw it away in my outside bin, and my granddad sat in my garden. Weird as he lives far away from me. Does anyone have any thoughts about this and what it could mean? I mean, you could just have anxiety about giving it away. It doesn't inherently have to have a supernatural meaning. Hold on. I mean, it certainly could, but it also doesn't have to. Magic Hat said, not dolls. How do I get, like... Ah, that would be how. 55, 45. What are we on? Special attack. Special attack's actually slightly lower than attack, but it's not much of a difference. You threw yours at Grandma's house? Like, threw it away there, or you left it there? Left there. Okay. There we go. I wanted the onyx. Hmm. Left it next to the stairs. Can I ask why? Like, was there something wrong with it? Hmm. Well, that just sounds depressing. Like, one of them is... Stop it. One of them is... My best friend's dog was just put down and I think I felt her spirit. That's just depressing. I don't want to have to read that one. I don't want to read about the poor dog being put down. That's sad. For the love of Christ, stop clicking open random things. Let's see. I mean, I wasn't asking for permission. I was saying I didn't want to because of the dog. Is that a trainer? I guess we already faced them. I don't remember. Oh. I think that's an item? Hmm. Hmm? Oh, it's a person. How long is this? So it's not that long. Hmm. The Haunted Duplex by Cornmeal Joe. I love that. Cornmeal Joe 6 days ago. I absolutely love that the name is Cornmeal Joe. Can't stress that enough. Love that. Anyway, I guess since some people have requested it, I'll share this weird occurrence my ex and I had while living in the aforementioned duplex. Personally, I find them to be rather dull, since after a while, whatever was there began to instill aggravation rather than fear or dread. The story begins roughly a year and some change after the field incident. Field incident? Oh, they must have posted before, but I didn't see their earlier posts, so. Give me a second. Because I lost my place. Okay. We chosen this particular duplex because it was cheap, $650 a month, and it had the space we needed. Yeah, $650 is actually cheap rent in America. That's considered cheap rent. There are people who pay anywhere from 1,200 to 5,000 for rent every month. So yeah, $650 is incredibly cheap for America, which probably sounds completely horrifying to people from other countries. Yes, $650 is the cheap one. Yeah. This is why, in my other video, why I was talking about how I felt bad for people who had to struggle for like 12 hours to make a cent a day. They literally wouldn't be able to survive here. And it's also why USD tends to stretch so much further when you go to other places. Yeah, exactly. 650. And that's the cheap one. Is this the guy I already talked to, or is... No, that's a different one. Yeah, 650 is cheap. Um, We had, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was 600 and something, is what it cost for me and he's my husband now, he wasn't then. How much it cost for us to rent an apartment when we were still in university. Actually, trying to figure out if he had graduated quite yet. Hmm. But yeah, that was the cheap one because it was the student package. Because they would like bundle your utilities and your rent together. Your like your utilities, your internet, your rent. They would bundle it together, and you would get a reduced price for being a student. And that was the cheap price, and that was like the student price. I think the regular price was in the 800s. And that was considered a cheap apartment, and that's because it was further away from campus. Which, again, probably sounds super horrifying to people from other countries who, who that might mean, that amount of money might mean something very different. I'm not saying that it's like, I'm not saying it's nothing, because it's definitely still money that you have to pay out every month, and it's not like it's like a small amount. It's a little bit to have and a lot to owe. Um, but yeah, that was considered cheap. It's still considered cheap. That's an unbelievable deal. 600 to maybe even 800? That would be considered an unbelievable deal. That would be considered cheap in a lot of places in the US. Especially places with higher cost of living where you can literally pay 3 to 5,000 a month to rent a place. Like it's not even a mortgage, which is what it's called when you're paying off a house that you purchased in your name. Not even for a mortgage. Yeah. It's crazy, right? Why do you think I quote unquote, well, not even quote unquote, because I did actually feel bad for how those people had to live, but why do you think I felt so awful about how those families that I was talking about had to live? I don't know how they do it. Honestly, more power to them getting by each day with pennies. I don't think that's possible here. Not unless you have a lot of benefits stacked up or you know where to get free food. Growlithe might have flash fire. I'll just use fury swipes. 600 you said you could buy so much, not in USD, of course. Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Some countries don't use US dollar at all, duh. A lot of countries don't. Some do. Some have multiple currencies. Oh yeah, USD you said is lower in price there. I don't know what the conversion rate would be, but it would still be a lot. Because whatever 600 USD equals in your currency, that's what that's the cheap price for each month. What is your currency called? Oh yeah, go ahead and check. Yeah. I don't even know what y'all's currency is called, honestly, so I couldn't even Google it myself. There's so many currencies in the world, so I'd have to know the specific one to get an accurate read. Because, like, for instance, a peso is different from a euro, which is different from a yen, which is different from a rupee, which is different from, you see what I mean? Like, they all have different values. Mm. I mean, why do y'all think when there are always these like documentaries or travel vlogs or whatever, why they're like, let's see what kind of cheap street food we can get. Let's see if we can even spend $20. And they'll be like, I bought 5 meals and spent 20 cents, or whatever the equivalent is. It's just like in some places in the world, USD stretches so far just because the cost of everything is different. And it's like it's the same amount of money, but it goes further in other places. For some reason, the price of everything here is just fucking stupid. It's so stupid. Hmm. So let's see. 650. Hmm. When I typed it into Google, it said it was 250, but that's still a lot of money, right? That's not cheap. I don't know. I don't have context for like the value your country places on certain things and on currency. So I don't actually know if 250 is or 230 is a lot for you. But yeah. So let's see. How much would, cuz for instance, if you went to a place like New York or Los Angeles, there are some expensive ass places to live. So like, let's see. 3,000 USD is 1,154 Omani Real and like 98. I don't know if y'all use the word cents or not. Yeah. There are places where the rent each month is $3,000, which Google says would equal to 1,154 of your currency, which is still a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money to pay each month. Wait, what? Wow, you impressed me. You said it right. I did. Nice. Good to know. Good to know. Oh, fucking hell. Thank you. How do people usually say it? But yeah, I feel like $1,100, almost 1,200. That's still a decent amount of money in like in both of our countries to pay each month. And yet, in a place like New York, I'm pretty sure that would be considered cheap. New York's one of the major cities, which I'm sure you already knew because everyone talks about New York. I come from a like no name nothing town. Like I grew up in a small town. I didn't grow up in a big place like New York. That's weird. Why do they say it like that? NGL Oman makes me think of Omar. You know, like his name is Omar. Like that's what it kind of makes me think of, but the ending is different. So I don't know why they would say Omen because that doesn't make sense. There's no E there. Like I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense because why are they saying it that way when there's no E? I don't know. Vowels are weird. Maybe they have a different dialect or something, but that's still weird because they should be trying to pronounce it the way it's meant to be pronounced. I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky. Let me see. Cheapest apartment in New York. New York. Oh, shit. Stop. I love how it's like find apartments under $900. I literally pulled up a site with New York, New York, just trying to find, like, because I don't actually live in New York. But me just trying to see what cheap apartments in New York are. There's something on Fifth Avenue for $900. Another that's listed for $1,000. Another that's listed for $1,100. One that's listed for $1,200. I see $1,300. $1,250, as in $1,250. And these are what come up under cheap apartment in New York, New York. Cheap apartment. These are the cheap ones. I love how it says if you want 3+ beds for this particular one, it's $2,500, and that's cheap. For the area. That's listed as cheap for the area. Oh, for this particular area on 110th Street, 2 beds is $2,000.95. These are the cheap ones. I shall remind you again. I've been saying that over and over, but I just really want to overemphasize this so it sinks in. These are the cheap ones. Okay. Now I'm going to do something else. I'm going to Google most expensive apartment in New York, New York. Also, it says the average apartment rent in New York City is $4,266 per month. So any rental south of $3,400 would be considered cheap. Yep. Says the average is $4,266 and anything under $3,413 is cheap. Now, is it cheap in the grand scheme of things? No, I personally think that's a lot of money, and that actually costs more than my actual mortgage, which is what basically a payment to pay off your house that you own. My actual mortgage doesn't cost that much, but they're renting apartments for that price. Anyway, average price $4,266. And let me go back to the little Omani Real. Let's see. Let's add that specific number that it said. What was it? 4,266. 4266. That would be 1,642 pieces of your currency a month. And that's considered the average. So that's considered average, like specifically in your currency, because the equivalent in our currency was 4266. The comma is to show that it's 1,000. You said, wow, rather buy shit with it. It's crazy, right? And the thing is, if those are the rental prices, that means the buying prices for property that you can own has to be sky high. Like, if that's renting, imagine what buying is. Anyway, it said anything below 3,413 is cheap. So that means anything below, that would still be 1,313.99 of your currency. According to Google. Because I think they do it by the day. Yeah. So the commas are for thousands place. The dot is for decimal places. For, like, change. Yeah, it's crazy, right? I love how we just got really into this instead of the other thing. So if I visit you, I need to be rich, you said. No. I don't actually live in New York, but let's see. Cheapest motel in New York. New York. And again, I don't actually live in New York. I just want to be like... Because motels are different from apartments. Instead of paying once a month, you pay a certain amount. Well, you pay up front, but there's a certain amount charged per night. Hmm. What on earth? Why are there so many passages? So, for instance, because I don't live in New York. New York's very expensive. We would consider that expensive as well. Um, but for them, it's just same shit, different day, which is kind of funny, but also kind of horrifying. Um, yeah. Where are the prices, though? Oh, I see. So, there's a 5th and 55th Residence Club in Manhattan, New York. And it says that it is $715 per night. Meanwhile, there's this outside Chelsea hotel, which is $137 per night. But that's still per night. Which means if you stayed approximately 6 nights, it would be an entire month's rent for that cheap apartment that we were talking about earlier. So, have fun with that. I love that you just say no. Huh. I don't know if this must be, I think it's still a hotel. 2,875 per night? Holy shit. There are some expensive ass places to stay in New York. Yeah, it's 28.75 per night. So, for perspective, let me pause the game a little bit just so I can, just for perspective. Where did I say it was? Ah, yes, 28.75 per night. Let's see what that would be in your currency. 2875. So that would be $1,106 per night. Crazy, right? And yes, that's considered an expensive place by our standards too. Unless you happen to be a millionaire, at which point I guess it doesn't matter as much. But we're not millionaires. We're not millionaires. Most people aren't millionaires. So it's just like, that hurts my feelings. Yeah. Yeah. There are places in America that you can stay or rent or buy that are incredibly expensive. That being said, every place has the shitty trash like hole in the wall dump of a motel that you can stay in. I mean, they might have bed bugs or rats or roaches or something, but there are cheaper places with lower quality. Just saying, they do exist. You probably could find somewhere where you could pay $20 a night, but at what cost? Quite literally, at what cost? Yeah. That's some intense shit, right? That's some intense shit. Because, like I said, there is one on here that's listed as $137 per night. It's literally a 20th of the cost, but 137 a night stacks up pretty fucking fast. Like, think about it. If you stay 5 nights at a place where it costs $137 a night, let me get out my calculator. And of course, taxes would be applied too, but I'm doing this without taxes. If you stay at a place where, at a hotel where it costs 137 a night, and that's the cheap one, remember, and you stay for 5 nights, that is 685 American dollars. Which is somebody's fucking rent for the month if you're renting somewhere cheap. Yeah. You barely spend most of a week there to get what someone's paying for rent. I don't even want to calculate the one that I said was $2,000 a night. I mean, because it wasn't $2,000 even. It was, what was it? 2875 or 2578 or something. Like, it wasn't, yeah, 2875. It wasn't straight 2000, or because that would be easier. 2875 times 5. That is $14,375 to spend 5 days there. Yeah, I can't say I would want you to spend 14,000 USD to spend 5 days somewhere. So yeah, finding a cheaper option that isn't like infested with vermin and has decent amenities would definitely be priority, because that's a lot. That's a lot. Let's see, just out of curiosity, what that would be to you. Let's see. So 14,375 USD is 5,534 Omani Rial, with like 30 change left over. I don't know what y'all's coins are. That's a lot of money. But yeah, you said you'd rather pay your friend to stay. I love that this just became an economics lesson somehow. Yeah, it somehow became an economics lesson. Don't even get me started on this. I don't even know how this happened. It just happened. Anyway, I'm glad that we could have this conversation. This is true. If you're staying with a friend, at least their house is clean, and assuming your friend is clean, there shouldn't be any vermin. Vermin means like there shouldn't be a bunch of rats, mice, roaches, bed bugs, I don't know, fleas, whatever, you know? Yeah. Mm. I mean, there are some areas where you could rent a decent room for like 60 to 75 a night, but it depends on the area. Because if you live in a wealthier area or an area that's more important, more prosperous, more advanced, whatever, the more it's going to cost. You know what I mean? Like, hmm. You said to be fair, you're scared to live alone anyway. And that's fair. Especially here. Well, to be fair, in our specific immediate area, you would be safe ish. But there are definitely places that I would not want you to travel alone. Especially going outside of our little bubble. Oh, I'm this one. I'm sorry, I feel like it'd be picking the most random ones each time. No, I meant people, actually. There are some Americans that are really, well, there's a lot of words I could use. Let me just list all of them. racist, xenophobic, and Islamophobic. Um, and I wouldn't want you to go anywhere where you might be in danger as a Muslim, especially as a Muslim woman, because you can't really like hide it as well. You know what I mean? You're more afraid of what you can't touch. Okay. That's funny, honestly, because I feel like my house is really would be really safe for you as far as like spirits. Also, we live in a safe neighborhood and we live in a safe um area of the city. Quadrant. I don't even know what to call it. Um but yeah, there's just some really like racist Islamophobic like patches, like entire swaths of the country that I would not want you to go through alone. But there are some places that are really progressive, really accepting and tolerant and really diverse that I would feel perfectly fine with you going through. Mm. I know what you mean. That's fine. Because there's definitely some parts that are more dangerous than others. And there are different parts of countries and cities that are dangerous for different reasons. Like some places are dangerous for everyone just because like robberies and muggings are at a really high rate in those areas. Or some cities will have more or less like I don't know, murder or human trafficking or something, but might be overall safe for minorities. Meanwhile, there might be places that have lower rates of this, that, and the third, but they might be more hostile to, say, black people. You know what I mean? Because, as a black person, I have to think about that when I travel. I have to think, there's not a sundown town around here, right? So, just saying. Sure, there are a lot of safe places, but there are a lot of dangerous ones too. And the dangerous ones are dangerous for different reasons. That's all. But yeah, it's a bitch and a half trying to find an affordable place depending on where you are in America. I don't know how people are making it in New York making minimum wage. Then again, maybe the minimum wage is higher in New York. I don't actually know. Don't they have like a. Are they one of the places with the $15 minimum wage? Not that it helps much with how expensive everything is. I mean, it helps more than them making less, but it's not enough, is what I mean. Which probably wasn't clear. Let me see. California's real expensive too, especially like LA, for instance. Chicago would be really expensive. Mm, just things like that. DC, oh my god. Y'all, I visited the Capitol once and that was not cheap either. For real, I need to change it to Money Talk or something. There we go, change the title. Hmm? What on earth? Did it just randomly cut itself off? Give me a second. There we go. Hmm. Okay, this says, what about hot spots by Blurby Blurby Blurb? What on earth? Okay, it's 71 degrees in my place, but as I was walking toward the kitchen, I felt a hot spot. So hot, it made me stop in my tracks. It felt like I was sitting near a fire. I was kind of close to my stove, so I felt around to be sure, and it was cold. I leave my door open, which is next to the kitchen, because it's nice outside. It's a little cooler outside than inside. Absolutely not hot outside and not near the hot spot. I walked back and forth trying to figure out where this has been coming from. It stayed in the same spot and slowly dissipated. Thoughts? No one commented, and I don't know what to say. Yeah, Blueberry's back in action. Hmm. I was taking out the trash and heard something pretty weird. Need insight. Ah, yes. What is it about taking out the trash that just incites certain things? Is she stuck? There we go. Let's see. So I was taking out the trash the other night. I live on the East Coast in a slightly wooded area. However, my neighborhood is quite upscale and not the boonies. It's a dedicated neighborhood and not on a main road or some back road strip of houses. It was just about dark, and when I took the garbage down, I was completely alone for the most part. Typically, people walk through the neighborhood, but it was pretty silent. All of a sudden, I hear what sounds like 6 dogs screaming slash being tortured or dying. It was definitely the sound of a pack of a certain animal crying out in pain. You said notice, no tea about stepdad. LMAO, good. For reference, we have foxes here, deer, and bears, but that's about it. Not sure if there are any wolves. And all of a sudden, like an audio tape playing the sound, just cut. Boom, just instantly stopped. No last murmurs and cries, just instantly stopped. I stood there for what felt like a few minutes listening, and it sounded like it was down the neighborhood street. Really not sure what it is, but it was my first time hearing this ever in 15 years. And I've heard fox cries, and this sounded nothing like it. Okay, because I was gonna suggest that it was foxes. So first comment says, I bet it was coyotes. I hear them all the time. To be fair, foxes and coyotes both do tend to like, it pains me to say it the English way. Coyote. Coyote. I'd rather say it as coyote. Anyway, to be fair, both of them do tend to sound like something's fucking dying. Like, not gonna lie. They said, oh, I could be. Never heard many coyotes before. That makes sense since it sounded a bit more like a bigger pack of dogs than a small fox. Yeah, there are several animals that sound like they're dying when they're just making normal sounds. It's kind of funny. Oh, by the way, OP's name is Piplup Wizard 58. I didn't even notice they had a Pokemon name in their name. Someone commented, coyote screeches are creepy. And they have like random parties. Used to live at the bottom of the mountain and would hear them all the time. Someone else said, gotta say, love this feature of this sub that everyone is super familiar with all the spookiest, seemingly totally normal stuff. Hold on. And can identify it. And then someone else linked to something and said, coyotes do a lot of yipping and howling. They don't sound like large animals in the way they vocalize. Could be his vape making him chill. Oh, you mean stepdad. Imagine he let me play calmly. Wow. Interesting. He was on his best behavior. Yeah, literally every comment is like, it's coyotes. I've never actually heard a coyote. Maybe I should try. Like, not like in person, obviously. Duh, that would be weird. But like, finding it on YouTube or something is what I meant, even though it sounded kind of sus. I was like thinking of finding on YouTube, not something weird. Does he have does he have Mary Jane in there or something? You probably don't even know what I'm talking about. No? Okay. I was just wondering. I was like, why is he so cool right now? He's never this cool. Ooh. Will they let us go down? Oh, they did. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find. What do they mean by this? Hmm. Hold on, hold on. I'm just skimming this to see. Okay, the title's stupid. I don't know why he entitled it that. Oh my fucking god. Just let me click on things. Okay. So Abby Abby Licious said something's going on and it's messing with me. 7 days ago. But let me see what Magic Cat said before I start. It smelled like coffee. I thought someone got coffee and didn't say anything. Oh, does he have the little flavored vape juices? Does he use it with nicotine? I mean, some people do smoke for a calming effect, like smoke cigarettes for a calming effect as well, because it helps with their anxiety somehow. I'm not really sure. So maybe he was just, maybe he's got some nicotine flavored vape fluid. I don't think I said that right, but whatever. Anyway, in November last year, my best friend and I moved into a small house close to the city we grew up in. It's a two-story house with a basement and garden and was built in the early 1950s. We did our best to make it as modern as possible, but some places of the house still show its age. Upstairs, we have a small bedroom, and our two bedrooms are, excuse me, all connected. It actually says all connected by a small hallway. Are all connected, maybe? Or just are? My bedroom door is right across from the bathroom door. It takes maybe 2 steps. They use the wrong two and it hurts my soul. 2 steps across the hallway and get to the bathroom. The day we moved in, we start hearing weird noises from above us that sounded eerily like footsteps. We don't have an attic, so we didn't think much of it and figured it's just the weather change messing with the old ass walls of the building, which is fair. The footsteps stopped after a few weeks, and for months, nothing remarkable happened. Around 1.5 months ago, the weird thing started to really mess with us. I started to wake up every single night around the same time, always between 2:30 and 3:15. I never had any trouble sleeping before. Once I'm awake, I'm having a hard time falling back asleep, which sucks because I have to get up at 6:30 for work, so I'm tired literally all the time. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I started to wake up with several bruises on my body, sometimes small ones that look creepily similar to grab marks, or sometimes really big ones. I don't bruise easily and don't have a physically demanding job. Almost every morning, another bruise popped up on either my legs, torso, or arms. Okay? My bestie, who usually spends nights at her boyfriend's, recently woke up with a painful burn mark on her back. She also had scratches on her back before. These only ever appear when she sleeps at home. Are you sure there isn't someone sneaking into your house and hurting you while you're asleep? Or someone living with y'all that you don't know about? Like, that could be a thing. Over the past week, the weird happenings tripled, and I'm starting to be pissed because it's messing with my sleep and level of comfort, she says. A few nights ago, I woke up around 3 a.m. I tried to instantly fall back asleep when I heard a noise right next to my ear. It sounded like someone whistling. Oh, it's not connected. Okay. Um, or more like I don't even know what sound to make. I'm just trying to read what OP wrote, and I don't really know what sound they want to make. Um, anyway. I jumped up, turned on the lights, and started the first video on YouTube I found for a distraction. As I was awake anyway, I decided to go to the bathroom real quick. I opened my door and stepped in the hallway almost on my cat's tail. Poor cat. My cat sat in the hallway staring into the darkness. He was wide awake with his eyes fixated on something. I called his name, but no reaction. I whistled and he turned back to his normal self, cuddling around my legs and demanding pets. Last night was the straw that broke the camel's back. I was asleep and around 4 a.m. heard our toaster. Why the toaster? Heard our toaster jiggle. We have had one of those dumb gag toasters that play a jingle once the bread is done. It's really loud and the walls are rather thin, so I heard it play clear as day. I went down thinking it was some sort of technical error. The toaster wasn't plugged in. I grabbed it and put it in the garden shed. I returned to the kitchen. Our entire ground floor was freezing cold, like winter with no heating. I couldn't fall back asleep but ordered a pack of sage just in case. Why did I read that as a pack of sausages? What the hell is wrong with me? I did ask for that as sausages. I'm just... can't even take myself seriously. What the fuck do you mean sausages? I'm not necessarily scared. I'm just straight up pissed. All I want to do is sleep. I love that they're just so angry and not be covered in painful, ugly bruises. Is there a way to keep whatever is happening away from us and our home or just our bedroom? I know you shouldn't contact spirits because that could piss them off even more, but is there any way to ask them nicely to stop? So, because, you know, there's sausage that's not made of pork, which isn't really related to anything except for the fact that I misread it as sausage like 3 times. I don't know what's wrong with me. I was like, sausage? Sausage? Something's wrong with me. Okay. Let's see if that water helps, because my throat was getting parched. So, first comment says, I agree it's better to avoid seeking contact with paranormal presences. However, ignoring it or them has not worked. Time to stand your ground and address the entity or entities. Tell them firmly to go in peace and that they cannot stay, that you wish them to go to a place that is better for them and that they do not have the right to stay, or some words to that effect. Do this in every part of your home. Open all the doors and windows. Go into each room and state these words calmly and clearly. Open any spaces, like cupboards, if you sense the potential that the entity would lurk there. Bring as much... in a cupboard? I can't imagine haunting someone and just staying in their cupboard. I feel like that would give me claustrophobia. Can you imagine gaining claustrophobia as a dead person because you decided to hide in a cupboard? Anyway, bring as much light and positive energy as possible into your home. This might involve decluttering or playing music that is calm and uplifting. Remove any images or items that could be associated with dark energy or emotions. If you feel too vulnerable to address the energy alone, find an ally who can support you in this process. The above suggestion comes from a couple of experiences I had years ago. Thankfully, the very dark entity I experienced left after I addressed it respectfully but forcefully. Then the second one says, and it sounds very similar to a poltergeist experience they had several years earlier. Impossible footsteps, lights and electronics going on off, doors closing, nightmares, and waking up, just like you described. The scariest was the fire it started while we were gone. In my experience, interacting with it and talking about it only made things worse. It seemed to feed off of this energy. Ignoring it and never discussing it inside the home made it somewhat better. Moving out was the best solution. And now there's someone else saying they lived through the same thing. Now there's someone in the comments saying that it's a demon instead of a ghost, because there's always someone saying it's a demon, and they're telling them that they should start saying Catholic prayers, because of course the Christian would say start praying. Of course. Even on a ghost subreddit, the Christian would say start praying. Of course. Anyway. kind of wish Pikachu had rain dance, but eh. Hmm? Really? Hmm. Trying to find something else. Weird fish, sure. Biting the bony ass fish. Hello? There we go. Stop opening shit. Bad computer. Not sure where to put this, so I'll put it here. Really? Really? Y'all can't be for real. You can't be for real. How long is this? Oh, hell no. No. That's way too long. No, thank you. Hmm? Weaknesses, long stories, you say? Well, my voice is already going in and out and is super scratchy. And I just didn't want to have to deal with it. It was just paragraphs, just a wall of text. I mean, yes, it was put into paragraphs, but there were at least 20 of them, and I was like, nope, I didn't come here for this. Hmm. Owning haunted dolls. Hmm? Oh, this is a weirdo. It's posted by someone who wants to own haunted dolls and is asking how they can get some. I think you have some issues, baby boo, that you need to work through. Because I don't think that shit is normal. Like, who wants to own haunted dolls? That sounds stupid? Counterintuitive? Counterproductive? I don't know. All of that? Honestly, I'm shocked that they actually said that. Poor honey. Mm. My grandfather's ex-girlfriend wasn't human. The fuck you mean? By Gibbs in 1911, 8 days ago. I want to share a story that chilled me to the bone with permission from my grandpa, of course. Okay. Well, that's gonna be interesting. Anyway, let's see. Hello, this is my first time posting in this sub, and I wanted to share a story that chilled me to the bone with permission from my grandpa. I'm a bit skeptical about this story, but the more I thought about it, the more horrifying it is. So, for a bit of background, I'm half Filipino and half American. Every summer, my parents and I would visit the Philippines and usually stay at my grandparents' place. A week ago, my grandpa on my mom's side told me this true story from his youth. The way he said it, I noticed he was still shaken and scared from whatever happened. So here's the story. Back in 1970, when my grandpa was 18, he was dating this girl who was a year younger than him for over a year. Let's call this girl S. Too bad they don't have quick attack. Rapid spin would have done. So here's the story. Right. Nope, read that part. S was beautiful, sweet, kind, and easy on the eyes, according to him. When summer started, S invited him to her parents' home in the province. S was currently staying with her aunt while she went to school in my grandpa's town. My grandpa was skeptical at first because the area that S lived in was quite rural and would take 5 hours to arrive by bus. But grandpa was infatuated with S, so he said, why the hell not? So with permission from his parents, he packed up and he and S were on their way. Why do I hear boss music? Let me keep reading. Hold on. On their way. When they arrived at her hometown, he noticed there's a lot of people that were staring at them. It was a small town, so the population wasn't that big. S showed him around where the shops were, the diners, etc., but Grandpa would notice people staring at them, and one time he heard a couple whisper, "Aswang." Oh, I know what that is, because I watched Grimm. If you're wondering what the hell an aswang is, in Filipino folklore, an aswang is a malevolent, shape-shifting, flesh-eating monster. From what I learned, by the day they look and act like normal people, however, at night they reveal their true selves. Back to the story. So S and Grandpa arrive at S's house. It was large, 3-story, and a wooden home. Grandpa then met S's parents. They greeted him warmly and invited him in and exchanged talks over dinner. Grandpa said they seemed like nice and normal people. On the first night, he was sleeping in S's room on the second floor. Grandpa woke up upon hearing a noise. The first thing he noticed was that S was gone. He assumed she must have went to the bathroom, so he lay down again, but the weird sound continued. Was it a ticking sound? It was coming from the floor above him. He said it sounded like a cat scratching its claw on the wooden floor, accompanied by what sounded like a person mumbling. Oh, okay. He tried to ignore it, but it started getting louder until he could hear multiple clawing noises from above, like multiple cats scratching on the wooden floor as well as mumbling. S still hasn't come back at this point, which made him worry. That's when he heard loud thumping from upstairs like a person jumping. Grandpa is really weirded out at this point, so covers his ears with his pillow. The next day, he told S that their cats were really loud and he couldn't sleep. S just looked at him confused and said, "We don't have cats." Okay. Huh, that's weird. I could have sworn I heard cats last night, he said. On the second night, he was woken up again by the same sound. He says at that point he was thinking, what the fuck? Very eloquent. Then he heard loud grunting from above, like an animal in pain. He tried going back to sleep, but then he was startled by what sounds like a roar. This continues for another day until on the fourth night, Grandpa decided he had enough. He was gonna man up, march upstairs, and see what the hell was going on. So it was around 1 in the morning, according to him. He said it was strange because he didn't hear any more weird sounds, but he decided to go upstairs anyway. Sounds bad for your health, my friend. He tiptoed across the floor and reached the stairs leading to the third floor. Once he reached the third floor, he noticed something weird. The lights wouldn't work even though they were working fine before he went to bed. The only source of light was the moonlight, which illuminated the interior. He makes his way to the room that was above him on the second floor, where the sounds were coming from, and what he saw made the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. The floor was littered with claw marks, the windows were wide open, and there were blood stains on the floor. Hold. Okay. There was no sign of S or her parents anywhere. Freaked out, he went back to the second floor, but then his nose caught a whiff of something he hadn't noticed before. It was coming from the kitchen. Curious, he went to take a look, but it was so dark he could barely make anything out. As he walked, his hand touched something that felt like a large metal pot. He opened the lid. A great number of flies escaped, and his nose was assaulted by an extremely awful, putrid smell that he said nearly made him vomit. It was so dark that so dark he couldn't see what was inside the pot, so he immediately slammed down the lid and ran back to the room and forced himself to sleep. I'm guessing he didn't have a... Oh, wait, yeah, it's Grandpa, so he didn't have a phone flashlight to see. Although, to be honest, it may be a good thing he didn't actually see what was there, because sounds like he would have been traumatized by it. Anyway. Force himself to sleep. Okay. The next day during lunch, S's mother served dinuguan, animal blood that's been cooked and mixed with herbs and spices. But Grandpa excused himself and lied that he was sick, as he didn't want to know what was in the food. S's mother tried to coax him to eat, saying he'll regain his energy. This is when Grandpa takes the opportunity to find out the truth. You see, in folklore, to identify whether or not a person is an aswang, it's quite simple. Observe their eyes. If your reflection is upside down, then you're an aswang. Grandpa stared back at S's mom's eyes and reeled back in horror. His reflection was upside down. This is when Mom's expression completely changes. She went from concerned to angry and was glaring hard at Grandpa, an expression that basically says, according to him, you shouldn't have done that. Okay. There we go. That night, Grandpa doesn't waste time and immediately packs up and heads home, lying that there's been a family emergency in order for him to go. He finally returns home and spends a lot of time inside his house in complete fear. The following month, he breaks up with S. She looked at him in sadness and said that she understands, that it was a wise choice for him, but it was quite a shame. Huh. What? That's not what I meant to do. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Quite a shame. Oh, Grandpa ended the story. He says that it was a huge shame indeed because he really wanted to marry S. What do you all think? What are your thoughts and opinions on this story? Edit. So I asked Grandpa for more info and details about the story. He said he has trouble remembering a couple things, but from what he could recall, after the first night, he asked S where she went because he woke up and couldn't find her. S said she was in the bathroom due to an irritable stomach. Then he asked about the weird noises, if she heard them. He said she was silent for a moment before casually responding that sometimes a group of cats would climb up their roof. What a weird excuse. And to answer your question, according to the story, if you actually believe him, then yes. Honestly, according to the story, it implies that the entire family is made of these shapeshifters. Of course, when I was first told about aswangs, I was told that they also make a ticking noise with their tongue, and that they were called TikTok. That they were also called Old TikTok by some people, because they make the ticking noise with their tongue. Um, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I was told when I first heard about them. I love how you said hell no. Honestly, I'm just really glad that Grandpa was okay and survived. It sounds like S really liked him though. Honestly, if she was an Aswang and if her family were all Aswang, then it makes a lot of it makes a lot of sense why she was so understanding about him breaking it off, I guess. It seems like she actually really liked him. It doesn't seem like she was luring him or like misleading him on purpose or anything. It seems like she actually cared about him and didn't want him to get hurt. And honestly, she's probably the reason that her mom didn't just eat him or something. Like she was probably like, I know he's human, but mom, I love him. I assume when they say flesh eating that they mean human flesh eating. Well, when they say flesh eating, all I can assume is they mean human flesh eating because it's not like most of the Philippines is like vegan or vegetarian. Most of everyone there would be quote eating flesh, but it wouldn't be human flesh. So I assume from the phrasing that it's human flesh because it wouldn't make sense to include flesh eating if they just eat meat like everyone else. You know what I mean? Like if they eat normal meat. So that's what I would assume based on the words they used. Yeah, it's just what's it called? Process of elimination. That's just what I assume from them saying flesh eating. Cuz if you're not vegan or vegetarian, you're probably flesh eating cuz you eat like chickens or depending on your religion, you may or may not be able to eat cows or pork. You might be eating goat, you might be eating fish, but the point is most people do eat flesh, quotes. It's just when people say, "Oh, it's a flesh-eating monster," they tend to mean that it eats people. Unless they're just emphasizing that it's a carnivore. They usually mean it eats people. So that's what I assumed. But yes, a shape-shifting, flesh-eating monster. Mm. Now, when I was first introduced to the concept of an aswang, it was in a TV show when I was first introduced. Because I've heard about it again since then, but that was my very first exposure to it. Was a TV show called Grimm. Um, it was really interesting because in the episode, um, this guy, he was the son of an Aswang, so I guess technically that makes him one too. But he wanted to live as a human, and he had like married a human woman, and his mom basically said there's a tradition in the family where the mother-in-law gets to eat the firstborn child, and he was like fighting against that. Like he actually left the Philippines to live in America because he was like, "No, we're not doing that. That's a stupid tradition. That's old school. I don't want my family to follow that way. That's the old ways. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you my baby." But like the mom wouldn't listen, as entitled parents are wont to do. And she followed him to America and was like, "Yo, I'm eating this baby." And they were basically like fighting over this. And of course, the poor human wife had no idea that either of them were technically monsters. She had no idea they were having this internal family drama. As far as she knew, her mother in law was a perfectly nice, normal woman. because he hadn't told her anything about his family. I don't even think she knew that his mother wasn't human, and most likely he's not human, or he's only half human if he's human at all. Um, but yeah, basically his mom wanted to be able to eat the baby. And he was like, we're not doing that. You know, that's a stupid tradition. I don't even know why the firstborn would go to the mother-in-law. Like, that's a weird ass tradition to begin with, but yeah, eventually in the episode, spoiler alert, the mom is, well, technically I should have gave a spoiler alert a while ago cuz y'all don't even know that the Aswang is his mother at first, but whatever. We're too deep in the spoilers. We're we're avocado deep in the spoilers, like my bad. Um but yeah, she actually ends up dying cuz she just keeps trying to go after the baby, and well, there were a lot of people in the know who didn't want her to go after the baby. And he was really heartbroken because, like, obviously he didn't want his mother to die, but he also didn't want to give her his baby. So he was in this horrible position. And y'all, I love how you said yes, lol. It almost felt like they had some kind of forbidden love, now that I think about it. It kind of made me think about ghouls, to be honest. Mm. So I'm on the Wikipedia page. The Aswang is the subject of a wide variety of myths, stories, arts, and films, as it is well known throughout the Philippines. Spanish colonists noted that the Aswang was the most feared among the mythical creatures of the Philippines even in the 16th century. Although with no specific motive other than harming others, their behavior can be interpreted as an inversion of the traditional Filipino values. The Aswang is especially popular in southern parts of Luzon and some parts of Mindanao and Visayas, especially the Visayan province of Capiz. Hmm. You said forbidden love is your stuff. I mean, presumably, if he was an Aswang, or at least half Aswang, he could have married another one of his kind, right? But his wife was human and she didn't even know about the supernatural. She didn't know about him and his mother. You know, she didn't know any of that shit was real, let alone that her family were technically monsters. You know, she thought she just married this normal, sweet, loving guy. And, well, she did marry a loving, sweet guy. He and his family weren't quite as normal as she thought. I just love that he was just ready to stand up to his mother for her and was, like, protecting her. Because how many guys are just, like, useless when it comes to their mother and will do anything she asks just because she asks, just because she's the mother? Hey, hon. But he's like, no, that's my baby. That's my wife. You're not gonna do anything. Oh, Magic Cat heard you. Are you gonna say hello? Did you hear him? Good. What? What? What do you mean? Oh, yeah. It was in the bag, along with the waterproof case. Also,
Was a waterproof bag in there too, or no?
what you mean?
The little baggie that we used, I think was supposed to be waterproof, but our water fountains were too big.
No, that's still in the room. Why? Do you want it?
Mm-mm.
I'm currently using your Switch to play Let's Go Eevee, so it's not in the cradle.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Which one did you put inside?
There isn't one because you wanted your Switch in there, so it's not packed yet.
Okay.
Because there's only room for one Switch. None of the other thingies are big enough. Which means mine is in my normal case inside of the waterproof bag, and yours will be inside of the big box.
Okay.
Yeah. Magic Cat, you said you would love to be a monster? What kind of monster? Well, I don't really count that as a monster, but okay. Hmm. Do you want me to get off so you can... I mean, I would be getting off anyway.
No.
Soon.
Okay. I was just putting some things in there.
Yeah, you put the HDMI cable in there.
Mhm. That's fine.
Okay, well, Magic Cat wants to be a demon. Okay.
A demon lord or just a regular demon?
Apparently just a regular demon. Because Magic Cat...
Archdemon?
Huh?
Archdemon?
Magic Cat just said demon.
I was gonna ask her what type of demon.
Excuse me. I don't even know where that came from.
Archdemon?
He wants to know...
Primordial?
Just come over here and talk. You're not even letting me ask. Just come over here.
Go ahead.
He wants to know if you want to be a regular demon or a demon lord or an archdemon. Oh, also, I think your thingy's done charging because the light turned green.
Go ahead.
I don't know where you want to put it. Mine should be done too, honestly. I charged mine too. Wow, it's just gonna not open like that. Come on. 100 and 100. Cool, so I'm charged too, so I'll put that in my purse. Is that foxglove? Well, that's a nice touch, I guess. No, just... Wow, okay. Hold on, what's it say? You said, I'm not trying to hurt anyone, but a demon lord sounds fun as long as I keep my boyfriend.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know about the not hurting anyone, because don't they need human souls to become a demon lord?
Depends on. There were multiple ways of becoming a demon lord, remember?
No.
You don't know? You don't know? Don't know,
I
don't know.
mean, if you're talking about that time I got reincarnated as a slime specifically, you still needed human souls.
Not always. Depends on if you have enough power.
I've literally never heard or read of that. Everyone who's a demon lord there had to get human souls. Well, if they wanted to be a real one, instead of just having the title like Clayman. Clayman wasn't shit. Hold on. Okay then. Hmm? What you send me?
Recognized Demon Lord refers to self-proclaiming.
Too busy for what?
They don't have to be human.
Hmm?
They don't have to be human.
Demon lords? Of course not.
No, no, no. The souls don't have to be human.
Oh.
It's any creature that possesses self-recognition. So you can do animals.
Well, it says self-recognition, which I assume means like sapience instead of just sentience. So, still people, but not necessarily humans, which I don't know if that would make someone feel any better, because if it's a person, then wouldn't it still feel bad if you care? I mean, I know some people, for instance, don't see goblins as people, but they're humanoids with intelligence and souls, so surely you should still feel bad. And ogres and orcs and what the fuck ever.
Some ogres are dim-witted stuff, you know. Technically, they're still.
Well, that's not fair. You can't just say that stupid people don't deserve to live. I mean, I guess you could say that, but that's kind of fucked up. Sorry, we're still talking about Demon Lord stuff. I love how Magic Cat's like, goblins?
Huh? Did you sacrifice a demon lord?
I do wonder what would happen if the soul you sacrificed was all higher level beings. Like, do you become a more powerful demon lord if you sacrifice 100 angels? Or 100 demons, for instance? Are they worth more than human souls? Is there more fuel? I don't know. It's not like we can exactly experiment. Although, if I do ever get isekai'd or whatever into one of those places, I would definitely experiment. Which probably makes me sound mega evil. But hear me out.
I think this is too much stuff.
If you want. Let me just get off, because I feel like
I'm about to go shower, so you're fine. Did you cook the rice, or were you having mashed potatoes?
I thought we were having mashed potatoes.
Okay, mashed potatoes fine. I mean, it's quick. I don't care. This is starchy.
You said Satan would kick you out. What? Don't beat up goblins. At least not the ones in Tensura. Don't beat up those goblins. Beat up the goblins in Goblin Slayer. What? Fuck me. Just wait 5 minutes. I'm just gonna get off.
No, you're fine. I just want to know where you found the jacket.
Yeah, but I can't talk and, like, I can't talk to you and do this at the same time, so I'm just gonna get off.
No, I'll get off. I'm done.
I'm getting off. It's fine.
Shut up.
I just can't scream up the stairs. I'm just gonna get off and come up to you. It's fine.
Fine, I'm done.
Nope, I'm coming anyway. I'm off. Yep. Too bad it's ended. Anyway, thanks for coming to my last stream this week, Magic Cat. Feel free to Discord me, though. I'm gonna go ahead and get off since, Lord help me. He's literally asking me stuff upstairs from the loft, and I'm like, I'm already hoarse and having to scream up the stairs. You keep asking me stuff. So I'm just gonna get off, because clearly he wants to talk to me. But thanks for understanding. And thank you. I hope you have a lovely evening / morning. See you next time.